Again, standard threaded, so you want to think about it. But now these are all pretty tight, so I'm going to stop tightening that one and I'm just going to loosen the other side. So you kind of see what I'm doing? It's like a tedious, like do a little bit to a lot of different things to get it right sort of thing. I almost did it. I almost tightened it on accident. Going the wrong way. I spoke it was too tight. And that's good. So that's a true wheel. And that's how you true wheels. You can use your brakes on the fly. Flip your bike over. Set your, like maybe unscrew the barrel adjuster to get the brake pads closer to the rim. And then spin it and look at it relative to the brake pads. And if you keep a spoke wrench on you, usually when you buy a spoke wrench at a shop, like these are really nice ones, but if you buy one that's meant for like carrying it with you, then it'll actually have like 3 individual sizes on one. It'll be like a triangle with each corner being a different size. And then you flip your bike over, set the brakes, and use the brakes as calipers for trim stand. Pretty neat sometimes to do it that way. Let's see. That's it. That's it for the wheels. Hubs, spokes, rims, trim, building, sets. I think that's it. Pretty much the last thing that you're going to do is put the tire on. I don't know if you know how to do that. You don't know how to put a tire on the wheel?
I haven't done it before.
Okay, cool. Do you know how to put a tire on? Okay. So here's what we're going to do. You're going to take it and you're going to put 1 bead of the tire on the rim first. See that? So we got 1 bead of the tire on the rim now. And the other bead is off. This is called a bead right here. This is the tread. This is also a rotation, a directional tire. You can see the tread pattern. So we want it spinning this way. Arrows point forward. It doesn't matter on this one because this is the front and we can flip-flop it any way we want. On a rear wheel, you kind of need to be careful to get, if it's directional, to get it on the right way because you can only use the wheel in one direction. So then we're going to take the tube, and to get the tube in here, we're just going to pull that tire over. We're going to put the valve stem through the valve stem slots. Little hole. Whatever you want to call it. You want to try and get it going straight down in there. Then you're going to pull the bead out over the tube. That's like the initial thing. Okay. Then we're going to put the tube into the tire. Then, so you can see down here, the tube's in the tire, but it's not in the rim. So if I try to put the tube, if I try to go ahead and do the tire, I'm going to pinch the tube, I'm going to damage the tube. So the next step, you're going to put the tube, you're going to work the tube into the rim. So then it'll be like that. So the tube's like in the rim, right? Kind of like that number. Now, you're going to work the other bead. I like to start from the valve stem because if you end with the valve stem can sometimes cause a physical interference with getting it on right. And then you end up with like a spot on the tire that's sticking out farther. You just kind of use your thumbs. I'm pushing on the rim, on the back side. I do with my thumbs. I like to get about halfway around. Then you're going to take both of your thumbs and you're going to make sure that tube is on the rim. And you're going to roll and push. Push and roll. Just like that. And then you blow up the tube. And you have a tire. Installing it onto the frame itself is pretty easy. These have quick releases, so it's really easy. Make sure the directional tire is pointing the right way. So this is a quick release, so it's really easy. You're just going to tighten the quick release down, screw it down, so until you start feeling resistance with the quick release itself. About there, and then just crank that down. When you install a wheel onto a bike, you want to make sure that it is centered. Usually, if it's all the way up in the dropouts on both sides, it will be centered, unless you have a bent fork. And there we go. The brake pads themselves, we'll get those adjusted later, but it helps to have the rim, the wheel on the bike to adjust where the pads themselves need to be on the brakes, because if the wheel's not on there, you can't really see where the rim is. You need to know, can't see where they are. So that's it for wheels.